It really is all or nothing now, boys and girls. Hey, what's happening, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well. Guys, you'll have to bear with me. I have tonsillitis. That's right, it completely sucks balls and I feel horrendously ill after taking some time out. So I'm here for you, I'm here for a video. Drop a like to show your support for ill Yannick getting through it today. As we preview an absolutely gargantuan match in the Premier League against Leicester at home in front of Chelsea fans. I'm not going to say this is an opportunity to seek revenge on the FA Cup final, because I'm a little bit old school in the fact how I think winning trophies are a priority over top four. That's just me. So beating Leicester, even if it means I get out of top four, that's not revenge for me. This game, of course, isn't as big as the Champions League final, but it's ruddy close because it means we can get the finances from qualifying for next year's competition. So I'm going to talk about what Thomas Tuchel said in his press conference today. I'm going to give you my not predicted lineup, but actually desired lineup, and give you an insight of how I feel about this game and how I think it might go, and maybe talk about the problems about Chelsea Football Club. Do consider subscribing if you're new to Football Therapy. Daily content, of course. Thank you so much to all of you who are subscribed and support me. It really means a lot. I'm going to leave you a link down in the description to go check out my other channel, this project I'm doing that's casual, where I talk about football, called Football Yannick. You might enjoy it. So again, I appreciate all of you that go and click on that link and subscribe to that channel. Alright then, let's get into today's video. It's important I give a shout out to the Chelsea women's team. They've been incredible this season. They seem to be winning everything. By far the best team in England, best women's team in England, with Emma Hayes at the helm, who's done an incredible job. They got battered in the Champions League final by Barcelona. I think they were 4-0 down by 30 minutes, but they managed to sort themselves out and not concede any more for the rest of the game. They did an excellent work to get to the final. Roman Abramovich went to watch them. He went in to see the girls afterwards and congratulate them on reaching the final. So it's nice to see Roman Abramovich in and amongst his Chelsea club, essentially. Hopefully, you'd imagine he'd be in Porto for the final for the men's game as well. Lovely to see that. But that Barcelona women's team is incredible, man. Look at the league table from the women's La Liga. They had a goal difference of 123 plus 123. Won every single game and only conceded 5 goals. They don't just beat you, they beat your corpse into dust. Anyway, moving on into the men's game, of course, this massive game tomorrow evening is at Stamford Bridge and is in front of fans. Thomas Tuchel addressed the media today to talk about a few things and how he's looking forward to playing in front of the fans. He was also questioned about Tammy Abraham's lack of involvement, and like a politician, he sort of tiptoed around the question and saying, look, everyone has to miss out, it's unfair on certain characters. A very diplomatic and sensible answer, but we can all pretty much guarantee at this point he does not fancy Tammy Abraham for his Chelsea team, and we can all expect Tammy Abraham to probably be sold in the summer, sadly. But hey, there's always casualties in football, and we'll cover that story more as the story develops throughout the summer on Chelsea News. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel with the bell notifications icon turned on. Tuchel also went into detail how he thinks Chelsea should have deserved the win. It's a sentiment he's echoed ever since the final whistle in the FA Cup final. He said we should have won and they were undeserving winners, which I don't actually agree with. If you win a game of football, you win a game of football as far as I'm concerned. I do like the fact how Tuchel is a stats and tactics nerd and brings you into that as a sort of football fan. You guys know me, I'm well into that, so I enjoy that. But at the same time, I don't think you should denigrate the opponent by saying they didn't deserve to win. Make Chelsea win. Not deserve to win, we just win. And whether that's mentality, whether that's tactical combinations, whatever, that's what we need to do together as a fan base, as a squad, as a club, as a manager. Come together and change the mentality back to winning. He did say the 4 words, it's in our hands. Which is true, because he spoke about the last minute Alisson header in the Liverpool game, which was just insane. I think I tweeted out about how a Liverpool goalkeeper has never scored in the entire history of the club in a competitive game, and Alisson comes up in the 96th minute to score the winner with an absolute world-class header to put the pressure on Chelsea. You just can't write this stuff. So Tuchel admitted this instance has made it interesting, but yes, reiterated, it's still in our hands. We win our 2 games, we're great. We're golden. Everything's gonna be alright. But Leicester kept us out in a low block in the FA Cup final, and you can bet your bottom ruddy dollar they will do the exact same thing in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge, where again they'll feel like underdogs. They'll be home fans, the Chelsea fans. They know Chelsea's a great team and they've got a method that works. You know, yes, we hit the post a couple of times and had an offside call, but generally we weren't battering Leicester in that final, and they will look to do something similar against us in the Premier League. So you can expect a similar lineup from Leicester. Maybe Maddison starts over Perez, do you know what I mean? Changes like that. But generally, I think you'll look at something similar. Hopefully they'll still be hungover from the FA Cup win. I'm, crossing both my fingers and toes, all my fingers and toes. They'll still be hungover, and Chelsea can use their focus to actually just try and score some goals. It's up to Thomas Tuchel as well to make some changes from that FA Cup final lineup, and I'm about to show you my, not predicted lineup, but my preferred lineup. So let's switch over the screens now and take a look. I've used the Foothead squad builder to give you something a little bit more exciting to look at. Of course, I've gone for a 3-4-1-2 formation with Mendy returning into goal. I'm not going to criticise Kepa for the goal we conceded in the FA Cup final, but there is something comforting about having Edouard Mendy back in goal. Nothing against Azpilicueta whatsoever, but just for a feeling, because we've seen this back three before, I'd like to see Silva in the middle flanked by Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen, who's actually looked very good when he's played out in the wider centre-back positions before. I really like the look of this back three. It's really defensively resolute, and I think there'll be no silly mistakes at the back, so that's my preferred back three for this game. Ben Chilwell absolutely has to start. He looks like one of the better players on with his small cameo in the FA Cup final, and of course scored the equaliser that was controversially ever so slightly ruled out. I don't know, it was probably offside, but still he looks driven, and he looks like with the Chelsea fans behind him at Stamford Bridge and not Leicester fans booing him, he's the perfect player to do well in this game. So Chilwell starts at left wing back for me, and they're going to be starting in a low block. I want to see Reece James up and down a little bit more. He's excellent at right centre back. We may see him there more and more, but for me in this game I want to see him at right wing back to perform against Leicester. If Kante's fit, he starts. That's the general consensus. So for me, N'Golo Kante, of course, starts in this game. He's just been looking pretty darn good recently. No, questions about that. I don't think anyone would dispute that. And I want to see Kovacic return to the side. If he's fit and good to go, I want to see him break the lines with his ball carrying. I'm not going to slander Jorginho. A lot of people have been on his back recently. I'm not about that, but in terms of that other midfield partner, I want to see someone carrying the ball through the lines, especially against a low block like Leicester. Kovacic is the man to do that. Now, we can't score goals. That's the problem. So we need to change what's happening up top. There's been a lot of chopping and changing, and you could argue that's been most of the problem. One person I want to start is Mason Mount. He didn't have his best game in the final, but he had a wonder shot saved, and that could have been the difference maker. Tuchel is a big fan of Mason Mount. I think him and Kante are first names on the team sheet. He will want to step up for the Chelsea fans, in front of the Chelsea fans. Mason Mount starts in the sort of withdrawn false 9, number 10 role for me. And it might be a weird combination of two wide forwards, so I'm not entirely sure how their chemistry works, but Christian Pulisic has to start for me. Again, no slight on Timo Werner. He's been incredibly productive. By the standards of our forwards, he's been incredibly productive in terms of assists and pressurising and running. I think he'd be excellent off the bench, Timo Werner as well. But because it's a low block, he's got no space to run into. Christian Pulisic is a really good dribbler. Like Kovacic, he can dribble between the lines, but in the final third and in the 18-yard box, Pulisic can weave and dribble and get a shot off, or combine with his fellow forward, and I've gone for Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz, they're both quite silky, and provided they can get chemistry right with one touch, I think those two against the low block of Leicester is our best option at the moment. Right, so that's my lineup, and that's me explaining why I've gone for those players. So let's switch over the screens and talk about the game a little bit more. I don't have to tell you how important this game is. It's friggin' gargantuan. I think if we win it, we'll get top 4. If we win this, I think we'll only need a draw against Aston Villa maybe, or depending on goal difference with Liverpool, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's the case. We have to win this game. You don't want to lose this, get knocked out of the top 4 and have all this additional pressure in the Champions League final. I mean, if you win the Champions League final, all bets are off. Doesn't matter what happened leading up to it, of course. But for this, for securing finances, for taking the pressure off the players, knowing they'll be in the competition for next season, so they can just go and express themselves against Man City in the final and hopefully enjoy it a little bit more, you have to win this game against Leicester. And I think Chelsea will. I'm going to put in a score prediction. I think Leicester will have not a literal hangover from drinking from the FA Cup, but I think they're going to have an emotional hangover. It's their first ever FA Cup. It's going to be absolutely draining on their nervous systems, their emotions. I think they'll want to get up for this game, but I think Chelsea will be better prepared physically and emotionally to take the W, and we've got the fans behind us. Tuchel will hopefully have learned from his mistakes in the final, and I'm going to predict a 2-0 win for Chelsea in the Premier League at home, and it will be a massive win. So let me know your thoughts, score predictions and changes to my lineup down in the comment section below. Again, I'd like to remind you to go check out Football Yannick, the side project I'm doing. You might enjoy it. Please do click the link in the description. Thank you so much for that. Hopefully we win. Up the Chelsea. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.